Kevin Sinclair here at Irish Illustrated at irishillustrated.com. Notre Dame extending offers to a few 2023 prospects in recent days, and I wanted to dive into a few of those in a running back out of Kansas and a defensive end out of the top program out in Colorado. Notre Dame looking to fill, those roles, an extra running back, another defensive end. That's been on the board for a long time. These new prospects are both quite exciting, and I thought I'd dive into their film for a closer look. Let's dive in. First up, Dylan Edwards out of Kansas. This is a four-star recruit who clocked a 4.39 at an Under Armour event recently alongside Braylon James, who was at the event. And this is a guy where, true all-purpose back with outstanding speed. But along with that speed, it's a very fast twitch athlete, an athlete with twitchy athleticism, very good out on the perimeter. Could certainly probably play some slot receiver for you. Certainly a kick return, punt return type guy. We saw big-time speed like this in Chris Tyree in the past, and we've seen Micah Bell recently, how he's a little bit more nimble, a little looser in the hips. Well, you see some of that in Dylan Edwards, too. This is just a home run hitter, rushed for over 2,600 yards this past season, over 1,800 yards as a sophomore, 4.39 speed. That is dynamic. Now, just kind of digging into a little bit more about him. I mean, Joe Otting, Notre Dame O-line commit, knows him personally. Braylon Edwards, as I mentioned, Braylon James recently was alongside him at an Under Armour camp, and those two met. Notre Dame hosted him for a camp back in 2021, and after getting the offer on Thursday, he headed up to Notre Dame for a visit on Friday. That has to be, a positive look for the Fighting Irish, even though he is committed to Kansas State right now. And then also he's got some receiving skills here, as you can see on this play. He's only had 24 catches over the last two seasons, but watching his 7-on-7 film in that certainly has a lot of ability through the air, and you can see what he does on screen passes. Getting him the ball in space is the name of the game with Dylan Edwards, and he just, so often hitting these home runs. What an exciting player. And then, of course, as a kick return and punt return guy, his change of direction, that fast twitch ability I was talking about, you just won't see a whole lot that sort of parallel with it from other prospects. That change of direction and shiftiness. A lot of Notre Dame fans want to see these types of guys, these really fast and twitchy athletes out of the slot and all-purpose back types. Well, if you're in that camp, this is certainly your guy. And then again, a new defensive end prospect, as mentioned, Blake Purchase. This guy plays a role kind of similar to what I saw from Jordan Botelho in high school, a stand-up end role. He will put his hand in the dirt too, and just like Notre Dame does with its Viper position, he drops into coverage. He had 2 interceptions this past season and 7 pass breakups, but he gets after the quarterback and after the running back in the backfield coming off the edge. Now, as you can see here, pretty good closing speed. Again, sort of a similar body type to a guy like Dalen Hayes, but I think he might have more sort of raw, natural strength and power at this same age, sort of coming out of high school, than Dalen did. Not sure if he's quite as athletic as Dalen, but he is quite tenacious, a good closer, and I like his raw strength and power. He can get off blocks, and see how he just has that stick-to-itiveness about him. Getting after it, high motor, as they like to say. I don't like all of those cliches, but it applies here, and here he is from the backside chasing down a scrambling quarterback along the line of scrimmage. And here he is with his hand in the dirt. Good change of direction there. And he was barreling downhill. I went outside the pocket, and he was able to chase that down. You see that again here. Pretty surprised with how well he plays out on the perimeter. And then I really like his run stuffing ability. Very aggressive, like I said. It's sort of that tenacity I think I might like most about him. He's not 6'6". He doesn't have, some of those freakish numbers, but he produces. He had 18 tackles for loss and 12 sacks. So there you have it. Really exciting player there in Dylan Edwards. You want to talk about dynamic speed and playmaking ability. He's got it. This guy is just a home run hitter, not only a running back, but really a true all-purpose back. Can probably play in the slot. Definitely a kick return, punt return guy. If you were to add him and Micah Bell, you'd be seeing speed that we just haven't really seen at Notre Dame outside of maybe Chris Tyree in many years. And then, of course, Blake Purchase. Again, I sort of see a body type there similar kind of to Dalen Hayes. Maybe a bit more natural, raw sort of strength and power. But he's a guy that, I really like in that sort of stand-up end role, but I wonder if physically he could grow into a strong side end over time. That's a position I've been saying for a long time Notre Dame really needs to bolster. So it'll be interesting to see how Notre Dame makes out with these two. But thanks for tuning into Irish Illustrated at irishillustrated.com. I'm Kevin Sinclair.